This program was produced by and first broadcast on Radio Hawke's Bay, a community access media station. Thank you to New Zealand On Air for making this type of programming possible.
Good morning, everyone. This is Heiko from Acupuncture On Air, and here we are on Hawke's Bay Radio. It's been quite a while since I've been here. It used to be called something else in another life, but now we've got a new radio station name, and we've still got Ken looking after me on the console here. And we're going to be talking with Sohail Farzam from Australia. Now, we've spoken to him before, it was a couple of years ago, but it's great to have you back on the show, Sohail. So how are you?
I'm well, thank you. And hello, Heiko and Ken. It's really good to be back. And I guess it's the same for you, Heiko. So it's good that we're both back together.
Yeah, because I understand. I'm just trying to work out. I think the last interview would have been before the first original lockdown, and but I understand that in the last couple of years that because Australia wasn't as quite as strict as here, but you've already sort of had some travelling and already presented some seminars while we were still sort of locked up here. So tell us a bit what you've done in the last sort of year or so.
Well, actually, Australia probably wasn't that bad, but Melbourne was the worst, in fact. We had a lot of restrictions. And so what I did was, when the market was going, everyone was going online. So very quickly I adapted and did a lot of stuff online. I did a lot of Zoom meetings, webinars, teaching, seminars. I hosted a lot of great speakers as well. And then as soon as we were able to travel, I went back and resumed my traveling. I had about 6 countries booked before COVID and pandemic. And as soon as we opened up, I went back and I did at least 4 of them in Europe. So I've been traveling quite a bit. I've been twice already to Europe this year. I did some work there, and I just came back about a week ago, actually.
Whereabouts in Europe did you go?
So the mid-year I was in Dublin doing a 3-day seminar in Dublin, and then I came back and then went just 2 weeks ago. I went to Poland. I did a trauma talk for a conference on emotional trauma, and also did a 3-day seminar in a small town in Poland. Okay,
and not to mention you slipped Auckland in there as well.
Well, earlier this year, yes, I was actually with you at one of the colleges there. We did the 3-day same seminar actually in Auckland as well.
Yeah, no, that's great. And see, what's interesting, just at this point in time, I mean, I'm sort of getting mixed messages from everywhere. That one, the business in general and clinics, in terms of acupuncture clinics. Anyway, it's quite interesting because, the media is talking about rising living costs, inflation, and yet everywhere you go, there's signs up. We want staff, and no experience required, and they're desperate to get employees. But then I'm noticing that some of the practitioners that I know are sort of saying that their clinics have become less busy. So it's sort of confusing for me. But I think it couldn't be a more perfect time to put on this seminar that we've got you organised for in January, again in Auckland. And it's basically called Supercharge Your Health Practice. So, why don't you just tell us a little bit about sort of, what you're going to do in terms of how practitioners can improve their business and perhaps how to learn how to market their clinics properly?
Yeah, sure. And also I'm grateful that you've made a decision to bring me back to do this seminar, because I think it is, you're right, absolutely important, especially this time. Look, I mean, it's no doubt that, there's costs rising over inflation. I think Australia and New Zealand is pretty much on par, 7.2 to 7.3%. So these things are legit, right? But the thing is that, like you said, there are people still looking for staff. So there are still businesses that are doing well. In fact, personally, myself and my colleague Hamish in our clinic, we had the busiest time of our career during the pandemic. And fortunately, we're in health services, so there was essential care, like most of you guys as well. What I think is happening, Heiko, is that most small businesses aren't actually doing the standard preventative care of running and the operations of business. So we're in preventative medicine, and it's the same thing that applies to actual business. So the most basic need for a client is contact. And unfortunately, most businesses are not even doing the simple thing as keeping in touch with their current clients who are serving them. And so what happens is when you get into this sort of traumatic event or a crisis that happens in the environment, it's almost too late to react. So you've got to be doing preventative measures along the way. And then when it comes to things like this crisis and inflating costs and, the consumer pricing that goes up, then what happens is you need to start to go inward and see where you can evolve your business and practice. And you have to understand the pain points of your clients, because these people are your clients, they've served you, they've transacted with you, and things change for them and their experiences and their feelings change when they also have these crises that we all face. And so we need to understand their pain points, we need to find deeper insights about them, we need to stay in touch with them, we need to build a stronger rapport with them to see where we can help them. And what happens is you become a CEO of your own business, right? You start to become a leader in your business because now you lead your clients. And when you lead your clients, they can lead their families. So essentially you become you create a sustainable impact on your clients, where the client then becomes an asset to their family and their friends. And if they're in a good state, they can help their family and friends. But that starts from you as a practitioner to help yourself, which will then help your clients. So we go through many, many different things in the course. I'll go through, the how to stay in touch, how to build rapport, how to build trust, how to go deeper into that client communication. We go through the 4 golden rules of marketing that we talk about, which again, the first one is to nurture and nourish your existing clients. We talk a little bit about, just some mindset stuff, especially around money. Obviously, money has been a big issue, still is. Cash flow and capital, managing your liquidity in your business during times like this. So it's actually quite a deep 2 days. It's going to be a profound thing, and I think we're going to have some good time doing it.
Yeah, because I remember when you and Hamish came and you did the Supercharge your health practice, and many of the practitioners really found that the section you had on mindset was probably like the most inspiring. It was sort of the ones that that actually, made a difference. Can you just give us a snippet about the mindset part that you have to present on the weekend?
Yeah, for sure. And you're absolutely right. I mean, mindset, people generally talk about the importance of mindset, but they rarely understand how really important it is and how deep it goes. And so again, if, most people run the business, unfortunately, essentially like a garage sale. They just sort of open their doors. They just hope that someone's going to come in one day. They just think someone will pick up the phone and call, or if it's a brick and mortar store like it is in most of our clinics, they just think that someone's going to walk past their shop and come in and become a client. And unfortunately, as much as it might hurt, but that's actually no different to running a garage sale, where you put some things in your garage, open the doors, and just hope someone's going to come and buy something. And mindset is key, because it accounts, maybe about 15, 20 years ago, people would say, 80-20 rule. So 80% mindset, 20% mechanical strategy. I think personally at the moment it's about 95%. And mindset is key in terms of becoming a CEO of your business, understanding emotional intelligence and how you operate. Do you operate as an emotional creature where you have high volatilities and you get reactive with events and challenging clients and conflicts in your business? Or do you act like a creator and become a leader and lead through these challenges? So we'll talk about self-ideals, we'll talk about values, your personal values and how they're reflecting your business. Just as much as you might value a relationship, you've got to also value business, right? Just as much as you value spending, you've got to also value managing money and building wealth. See, most people don't understand there's a difference between earning and creating wealth. So we'll talk a little bit about money blocks and, where that comes from. We'll talk about confidence, self-image, and how that actually reflects in your clients. The fear of failing and being rejected by clients, for example. And one important thing is actually just putting yourself out there. So we talk about the mindset of overcoming these blocks about, one of the biggest problems in business, unfortunately, is obscurity, where people literally don't know who you are and where you are and the fact that you even exist. And I just remember 2 weeks ago, actually, I was speaking to one of my members in my mentoring group, and he had a big block around social media marketing, for example. And we just handled that with the mindset and the confidence and the blocks that he had. And he's a pretty new graduate, and he was able to triple his practice within 2.5 months. Right? And this is all mindset. The mechanical stuff is a bonus. It's like the supplementary things that come with it. So when we tackle the emotional blocks, emotional intelligence, raise your vibration and consciousness, become a CEO of your own practice, amazing things can happen.
That sounds fantastic. But I think with this weekend, one of the real bonuses, of course, apart from actually coming in and then it's a live seminar and face-to-face, but all the attendees are going to receive a free copy of the book that you have co-authored with Hamish. And can you just tell us just a little bit about the book and how the book will actually be able to help you after you've done the course?
Yeah, for sure. So, I was blessed to write a book, publish a book a couple of years back with my colleague Hamish Reid. It was called In Demand, The Health Professional's Guide to Winning Practice. And essentially what the book is two parts. The first part is actually me again talking about mindset. So we talk about some of the things we just discussed now. And then the second part of the book, we actually go into mechanical strategies. So now we sort of show you how to make it all work and put it all together. And so the seminar, the 2-day seminar, is essentially a byproduct of some of the things that we've applied with ourselves in our own clinic. And then we're going to help clients and practitioners build their own business and their own health practice using some of these concepts, starting with the mindset and then showing how this mindset applies to the business in terms of mechanical marketing strategy.
Okay. Now, I mean, you've been talking quite well here, but I have heard a rumour that as a teenager you were actually fearful of public speaking, and so I'm just curious, how many live seminars have you actually presented, and so far, how many countries altogether have you travelled to deliver them?
Yeah, so my very first lecture that I did was a lecture. I had a panic attack, and I realised, wow, that was quite an uncomfortable experience. But I had a greater vision. I had a commitment to do this in long term, and so I came back and did it again, and really just focused on building myself, my personal evolution and consciousness. And so it became like a norm now. I just love public speaking. I love speaking to people. I love, educating, learning myself and then teaching that. So, yes, that was my earlier experience. In terms of how many seminars that I've done, it's a good question, actually. I haven't really done a proper calculation, but it has been in my mind to do so.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I can give you an exact answer yet. Yeah. In terms of the countries, I think there's about probably 10. My goal before the pandemic was 20, so I think I'm about halfway there.
Fantastic.
So essentially, Australasia, Europe has been my primary go-to because I go to Europe for family on a regular basis. So I thought I want to really make Europe work. And then my next venture, probably next year, is going to be Canada, US, and probably interested in India as well. There's some things happening in India as well.
Yeah, because I'd like to promote you for Hawaii because I want to have a tax-deductible trip to Hawaii when I promote you there.
Yes, I promise I'll make that happen for us, for us both. Yeah.
Okay. And apart, of course, that that new market in Auckland is your favourite destination.
Of course.
We'll be looking forward to you coming up to Auckland in January, in early 2023, and it from my knowledge, it will be the first live seminar that's put on for New Zealand practitioners in January. So. Thank you so much for coming on the show and giving us a glimpse of what to expect for this upcoming seminar. And just tell us about how can people register for the conference?
Yeah, absolutely. So first of all, absolutely great to be here and a pleasure for speaking with you both. So with the seminar, Supercharge Your Health Practice or your Acupuncture Practice, it's a 2-day seminar. And it's on the 21st, 22nd of Jan, 2023. So like you said, it's probably the first face-to-face seminar that's going to happen for the year. Now, we have a landing page, but if you don't mind, Heiko, you have a link on your website as well. Maybe you can put the link on the description there. And then that connects people straight to my page where they can register.
Okay, yeah. And plus, I'm going to put the show up on the YouTube as well. So I'll stick that link in the comments section. So that will make it easier. So thanks so much, Sohail.
Yeah, excellent.
And to finish the show, because we need to have a song to keep Ken happy, because it is a radio station with music after all. Yeah. And knowing that Ken is a devoted Beatles fan, so we're going to have one song, and it's called "Come Together," which, as we know, is from their last album, their Abbey Road album. So thanks for listening, everybody, and here's the song.
This program was produced by and first broadcast on Radio Hawke's Bay, a community access media station. Thank you to New Zealand On Air for making this type of programming possible.